Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome to Kahului Hongwanji's online YouTube Sunday service. Today we are observing Mother's Day. Today is May 9th, 2021, and so we're happy that you are all able to join us for this service and to take a little time to reflect on mothers and what they mean to us, and to express our gratitude to them for all the help that we all have received from our mothers in one way or another to grow and to become who we are. So today's service will begin with the Vandana and Tisarana. We've already had the Kansho, the bells, the temple bell that calls us to mindful attention. After the Vandana and Tisarana is the praising of the Buddha and the taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. After Vandana and Tisarana, we will chant Gasho to Amida, which is a kind of a modern chant, a composed hymn, really, a gatha that is used like a sutra chant, and it is the words are really meaningful, and it has a wonderful spirit, so we like to do that one. And then after that we will recite the Golden Chain of Love. And after the Golden Chain, I will share a message with you, Dharma message, reflection on the Buddha's teaching, and then we will together chant the metta, or loving kindness meditation, followed by the singing of the Nembutsu. And then I'll have some closing words for you and some announcements. Okay, thank you very much for joining us, and let's begin our service now by reciting Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance.
and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. Aiga shotu Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. Aiga shotu Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. Aiga shotu Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. Aiga shotu Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. Aiga shotu Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida, every moment filled with light. Aiga shotu Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. Aiga shotu Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, Aiga shotu Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. Aiga shotu Amida. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Welcome again, and thank you for joining us for this Mother's Day celebration today. I'd like to share some thoughts about the Buddha's teaching with you. Let's begin by putting our hands together in Gasho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers, and and to everyone who has a little bit of a mother in their heart. We're all a little bit of a mother to each other, I hope. So, happy Mother's Day. Mothers are a very popular subject in, I think, most religions, in sermons in most religions. And I've noticed that in our Buddhist tradition, which is, of course, culturally rooted in Japanese Buddhism, mothers are often very much idealized. But talking about mothers, for me, I don't want to sentimentalize mothers, over-idealize them, because I think when we do that, we are not really talking about real mothers who are actually human beings. Sometimes I've heard ministers, talk about mothers in such an exaggeratedly idealized fashion that I feel bad for people who have had real mothers, real parents who were not so perfect. Actually, I don't believe perfect parents exist. Very good ones do exist, although they're rare, I think. But if perfect parents existed, I can't imagine what they would be like. I guess we learn to be human from our parents, not to be perfect. The truth is, most people, with rare exceptions, have had conflicts and difficulties with their mothers and fathers. In the Pure Land tradition, and especially in the Jodo Shinshu tradition, Amida Buddha is often described as being like a mother, with unconditional love for her children. But no human being, not even real mothers, can maintain consistent and unwavering love and acceptance of anyone, not even their children. We all get exasperated and we all get angry. Parents at their children and children at their parents. I have to admit that there is something special about mothers, though. Maybe we can say it is the true or inner mother, which is to be found in all mothers, maybe in everyone. This something special, this something, is, I think, a reflection of the deeper reality of life, of existence itself. It is a deep kindness and love that wills or wishes for the growth and the happiness of others. The deep wish, this deep wish is expressed in the innate behavior of parents toward their children, and it is especially obvious in mothers. And most people do tend to view the loving kindness of mothers as the kind of the epitome of love and goodness. There's a Buddhist text which probably originated in China called the Filial Piety Sutra. So that's filial piety. That's piety toward parents, a respect toward parents, you might say. It is most likely a Buddhist scripture that arose out of the need to harmonize Indian Buddhism or Indian Buddhist teachings, which really emphasize the idea of leaving the family and becoming monks, with traditional Chinese reverence for ancestors, or filial piety. So in the Filial Piety Sutra, the Buddha's disciple Ananda asks the Buddha, how can one repay one's mother's kindness and virtue? And in the Buddha's explanation, he lists 10 types of kindnesses which are bestowed on the child by the mother. And this is a very beautiful and very interesting list. And I want to say a few words about it, but first I want to point out something. The theme of the Filial Piety Sutra is basically that there is no way to sufficiently repay our debt to our mothers, which is of course true. But also that if you don't spend your life trying to do that, to repay the kindness of your mother, the debt of gratitude to your mothers, by following all the practices that are prescribed in this sutra, including offerings to the temple, of course, and many other things, then really, really terrible things are going to happen to you in the next life. And as a Buddhist, that isn't the message I want to have you take away with you when you after this message. It's certainly consistent with conventional beliefs about filial piety. That you will really be punished if you don't have adequate gratitude toward your parents. But it's not what Buddhism actually teaches. And that's why we have to be very careful about really understanding what it means to honor our mother, our fathers, and our ancestors. In this text, we read beautiful words expressing the great love and kindness we receive from parents, but we should always remember that many people, especially in our modern society, grow up without tangibly experiencing motherly or parental love. In fact, quite the opposite. After this praise of mothers, however, the sutra moves on to tell us of the cruel and agonizing punishments which await ungrateful children who don't appreciate their parents' love. Sounds like a lot of sort of stereotypical stories you hear about mothers. But this sounds like it was designed to instill, in other words, a lot of guilt into children. Some mothers can be very good at instilling guilt into their children. So, the other side of the coin of this idea that we have to repay the debt of gratitude is of course that children often cause their mothers anguish and grief, don't we? We all can probably remember something we've done which has made our mother very upset or very sad. Later you feel really bad about it, but at the time children we're selfish often when we're children. Mothers tend to put everything of themselves into raising their children, and they're often surprised when their sons and daughters at a certain age start to rebel against them, not only against their authority but also against their guidance and their love. In the process of discovering our own identity and having our own experiences, most children, most of us, to one degree or another, try to break away from our parents and assert ourselves as individuals. And I suppose that teenage and young adult, that period is really the hardest trial for most parents, and probably especially for mothers. Thinking about that, I'd like to go back to the Filial Piety Sutra, to the Buddha's list of the 10 types of kindnesses which are bestowed on the child by the mother. I think this passage expresses a very deep insight into what a mother really is. Let me read it to you and make a few comments as we go along. I'm afraid that all the fathers here will have to make their own lists because the Buddha only did this for mothers. So here's the list. Number 1, the first is the kindness of providing protection and care while the child is in the womb. Even when her baby is in the womb, when she has to endure discomfort and inconvenience, the mother is already thinking about the welfare of her child and is very careful about what she eats and drinks and how she behaves. Some mothers even try very hard to avoid anger and stress so as not to impose those negative feelings on her developing child. So her love for her child has already become very deep, even before the child is born. The second, number 2, is the kindness of bearing suffering during the birth. All mothers know about this one. We men have not experienced this ourselves, of course. But by the way, my own mother used to remind me quite often of the suffering she endured in giving birth. So, she let me, made sure I remembered that. So the third is the kindness is that of forgetting all the pain once the child has been born. So that's an amazing thing, isn't it? No matter how much pain a mother has gone through, when she sees her newborn baby, she forgets all about her pain, and she's filled with joy at this new life, which she has been privileged to bring into the world. Life is often filled with pain, but the consciousness of life, awakening to the inconceivable reality of living, always brings us back to the joy of the moment. This is the great Buddhist teaching that all mothers learn naturally and share with us. The fourth now is the kindness of eating the bitter herself and saving the sweet for the child. We often talk about the fact that each of us is naturally self-centered and that we ordinary beings can never be completely compassionate or selfless in this life. Yet, mothers do experience, at least in regard to their child, the spontaneous selflessness that cares only for the other being, for the baby. So I think we can really have a sense of the infinite compassion of Amida when we think of our mother's selfless love for us. The fifth is the kindness of moving the child to a dry place and lying in the wet place herself. Okay, the fifth, number 5. Moving the child to a dry place and lying in the wet place herself. So again, this is the great love of a mother, choosing the best for her child and taking the worst for herself. You can really see this in times and in places where people are destitute and have to make such choices. But the tendency is always potentially there for every mother. Number 6 is the kindness of suckling the child at her breast, nourishing and bringing up the child. So every one of us is always being nursed, nurtured, and helped to grow physically and spiritually by all the conditions of life which arise just so we can live and have the opportunity to appreciate our life, cherish our world, and all the time we have to spend here. Every mother is like a microcosm of all life, and like the earth itself, she is a wellspring of nourishment, love, support, and wisdom. So when we think about treating our mothers, repaying our debt of gratitude to our mother, when we think about this, we should also remember that we are not doing so well in treating the earth, our Mother Earth, for all of the nourishment, love, and support we receive from her. So Mother is a kind of reminds us of all of the nourishment and support we're always receiving. So number 7 is the kindness of washing away the unclean. Now, so I know all fathers do help out with diaper changing nowadays, but they usually don't do it very enthusiastically. Mothers, like the Buddha, are non-discriminating toward their children. They love them just as they are, even when it's time to change the diapers. Mothers are not the least bit put off by this task. They embrace it with joy. Number 8. The 8th is the kindness of always thinking of the child when it has traveled far away. As children grow older and reach that point where they have to separate themselves from their parents and their homes to find their own identity and face challenges on their own, a mother never severs her deep love for her child and always thinks of him or her no matter what they are doing or where they are. This also reminds me of Amida's great love for us, Amida Buddha's great love for us, which never abandons us, no matter where we go or how bumpy or difficult our path may become. Number 9 is the kindness of deep care and devotion. Mothers in their deepest hearts never cease to care about their children, even when the children have grown. They worry ceaselessly about them and their condition, and remain totally devoted to them. This reminds me also of Amida's vow, which expresses the same ceaseless devotion to our peace and happiness. Finally, number 10, finally, is the kindness of ultimate pity and sympathy. This last item reminds us that despite all of our failings, our lack of appreciation for all the love our mothers have given to us, still our mothers always have deep compassion for us. There is no limit to the compassion and sympathy which arises from their true love and acceptance, from their true devotion and care. This is really a manifestation of the ultimate compassion, sympathy, and care that is always directed toward beings from boundless life, which we call Amida Buddha, which is reality itself. So this Mother's Day, we have the opportunity to think about the great compassion that we're able to perceive in the love and kindness we have received from our mothers. And this is true whether our mothers are still with us or whether they have already passed away. True, we haven't experienced the same degree of love in our growing years. We haven't all experienced the same degree of love in our growing years. Part of the tragedy of our time, our modern time, is that human beings have created so much stress, such delusion, such trauma and distraction in the world, that even the deep instinct of motherhood can be covered up and distorted by materialism, oppression, and dehumanization, which exists in today's hyper-ego-driven world. Even so, we who have the awareness of having received such love are able to share that love, the love of the mother, the great compassion that accepts everyone just as they are, the love that seeks the best for everyone, that nourishes, teaches, supports, and waits with infinite gratitude and infinite patience. We can all share that love. We can all be true mothers, even to the motherless, as we realize our oneness with all beings in Amida, the oneness of life. And so today I'd like to wish all of you, once again, a very happy Mother's Day, and to express the wish that we all take the time to remember the great love and kindness that we have received from all the mothers in our lives, and that we all aspire to live in such a way that the spirit of mothers, compassionate, nurturing, supporting, accepting, and loving, will prevail in this world, which is in so much need of that spirit. So thank you very much for living. Thank you for living. Thank you very much for listening. And please join me in Gasho as we recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Well, thank you very much again for being with us today for our YouTube Sunday service as we have celebrated Mother's Day today. Actually, this week this day, May 9th, we also had the in-person service in the temple here, 9 a.m. And so those of you who came to that, I hope that you enjoyed that as well. We sort of do the two things so that those who can come can join us in the service, and also those who cannot come or live too far away can watch the video service. We haven't gotten technologically to the point where we can have the in-person live service also be so I guess you say streamed because there's more technical challenges in that, whereas this is easy to make with just the one camera and so on, microphone and so on. But anyway, so we will actually be having more in-person services. We're being very careful because of COVID, of course, but following our next in-person service will be on May 23rd, which is our major service for Gotane, the birthday of Shinran, the founder of Jodo Shinshu teaching. And then on that day, we will also acknowledge our memorial services for that month, for the month of May. We call it our Family Gratitude Remembrance. And so we will be having both the YouTube video and the in-person service. June 20th, we will have Father's Day celebration. We don't want to forget fathers. We have had the Mother's Day. Sometimes fathers get a little bit less acknowledgement, so we want to make sure that they get their appreciation as well. And on that Sunday, we will also be honoring our graduates. Now, actually, that will be the in-person service. We won't be, of course, do that during the YouTube video, but the in-person service, those who have graduated from high school and college, in our membership, we will be acknowledged and expressed, given some honor for their achievement, and that'll be in the in-person service. But of course, Father's Day we will be celebrating both the video and the service in person. And then on June 27th, the fourth Sunday, the fourth Sunday is usually when we do our major services and also Family Gratitude Remembrance. So June 27th will be just a family service, but it will be the Family Gratitude, remembering those whose memorial services occur in June. And that will be also video and in person. And all the other Sundays, most other Sundays, we'll let you know when it's not happening. We will be having a YouTube service even though there's no in-person service. So one other announcement is that we are planning a fundraiser, a food pickup, I guess a mini sale of the main dishes will be kalua pork and lomi salmon, but we'll also have a bunch of other goodies as well, like Chinese pretzels and things that people like. I think some kind of pickles, tsukemono or something like that. And that will be, the pickup will be June 19th, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can actually, this time we're getting a little more advanced. You can order online. We have a link, which you can find in the little box below the video on YouTube. I don't know what it's called exactly, the little information box. Sometimes I call it the bucket underneath. And you can find the link there, and also it will. If you are not able to use that, just please give the temple office a call, and they'll help you. We can get you take the order out over the phone. You can pay by check, or send the check in, drop the money off, or you can pay by PayPal. Through the link, you can actually just use PayPal if you're familiar with using that. So thank you very much, and please have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.